Hey guys, today I have the start of a new video series, and I have no idea where this is going to go in the future, but this is episode one, and this is going to be a build video. And it's going to start with a what's in the box video and then go into building the kit. And today I've got a kit from Miniart. It's 35th scale. It's their Soviet ball tank with winter skis. Now, this is part of Miniart's What If line. The nickname for this thing is the Sharotank, if I'm saying that correct, and it's basically a fictional Soviet ball tank, most likely inspired from the real Kugelpanzer, the German ball tank. But this is pretty cool. They've done a couple of these prior to this one. This one has the, like I said, the winter skis on it as opposed to the little wheels that the previous versions had. But we're going to take a look at this to start with and see what is included. As you can see here, I've got the kit all opened up. All of the sprues are spread out. We'll take a look at the box first. You see they give you decal markings for 6 different versions, and obviously these are all made up by Miniart, but there's some really cool options here. Here's the decal sheet. For me, I want to do the snowman with the boxing gloves. I think it's kind of cool. Miniart must have thought it's cool too, because that is the feature version on their box art. Now, I picked this model to start this new video series because I thought, first of all, it's interesting. I love this what if stuff, but also because I thought it was going to be a pretty quick build. So you can imagine how surprised I was when I opened it up and pulled this many sprues out of the box. But after laying everything out, there's a few sprues like this one here. There are 4 of this particular sprue, so there's only a few different sprues, and we'll take a look at each one here. Just like all of the other Miniart kits as of late, all the parts are very nicely cast or injected rather. There's no obvious signs of flash or any other things that maybe some older kits had issues with. Just a really nice model. And as we go through this here, you'll see when it's all said and done, there's only a few different sprues, lots of duplicate. Now, I will say that this particular version of the ball tank, and perhaps all of their ball tanks are the same, but this has a full interior kit. So most of these sprues that you're seeing, the reason there's so many parts is because of the interior. And as you'll see in just a little bit as we start building it, what initially looks like a ton of parts that might take quite a while to go through and build, it actually goes together pretty quick. So here's that's the main hull of the ball, I guess we'll call it, the 2 halves of that. So, and there you have it. So when it's all said and done, you've only got a handful of sprues. There's just a lot of duplicates of the same sprues. Now, as we open up the instructions, if you've built any Miniart kits before, this will be very familiar to you. You basically get decal markings, paint guide, and then you go through, and it's very easy to understand, easy to follow instructions, ending with the other 3 options. And this is the one that I think that I want to build out. So we'll see how that goes. And here we are getting started on the build. Now, I'm going to fast forward through most of this because this is just basic. Find the parts, cut them out, glue them together. There's nothing really fancy or special about the first part of this video. It's just your basic building. So we'll take a look and see how all of this goes. One of the things that I like to do when I'm building models is use a highlighter to highlight what I have already finished on the instructions. The reason I do this is because I don't always build a model in the order that the instructions would have you do it. Sometimes this is because I need to paint things before I glue them in place. There's so many different reasons that I may skip around in the instructions. And with this particular model, it's not as big of a deal because it's a relatively quick, easy build. But on larger, more complex models, especially that have several pages of instructions, sometimes it's beneficial to, when you have to come back to a page, if I've got everything highlighted that I've already done, at a very quick glance, I can see, okay, there's the part that I was leaving out for later. You know, is it because I needed to paint it before I put it in? Is it because it wasn't supposed to be glued? There's so many different reasons as to why, but it's just an easy way for me to be able to come back later and see exactly what I did not do yet on each page. So that's why you'll see me through here highlighting things that I've done. And another thing that I'll mention, you'll see this tool that I'm using a lot. This is one of our Squadron tools. We call this the third hand, and it really comes in handy sometimes. I use it a lot of times for exactly what it's doing right here. Holding a part that I've got to glue into place, and it needs to sit there and make sure the glue sets up good. Sometimes I use it to leave parts that perhaps you have antennas or other fine little parts that I don't really want to lay on the table because they might, get out of alignment. There's so many different reasons that I would use it basically as a stand. But then I'll also use it to hold it in front of me while I'm putting parts on or aligning parts. So just a very, very useful tool. If you do not have one of these, perhaps pick one of them up from us. It's very, very useful. And again, that's called the third hand. These nippers, or cutters, sprue cutters that I'm using, these are our Squadron Tools high precision sprue cutters. Uh, you know that because they have black handles. We also have a yellow handle that is our precision sprue cutter, and our red handle are our basic rough cut cutters. On a model like this, most of the time I'm using the black handled, the high precision. It is a single sided blade, guillotine style sprue cutter. Very, very nice, super sharp, and it does not pinch the parts, leaving that very unwanted cleanup that's required. But with a guillotine style, it slices through the part on one side, and there's a flat bottom on the other side. It makes for a very, very clean cut. You will see me on a few parts through this build using sanding sticks to, you know, smooth up some things, but for the most part, all of these parts came right off the sprue, ready to be glued together with very, very minimal cleanup, if any cleanup at all. So those sprue cutters really, really are a time saver and a big help on building plastic models like this. Now, what we're building here is, as I'm doing this, I'm looking at it and I'm like, what in the world am I building? Because it doesn't make much sense. But as soon as you see it completed, it all of a sudden makes sense. So basically, this is the interior of this ball. And the way it works is this that I'm holding here is the engine. And the engine sits on the bottom of the center. So if you look at the ball tank itself, the track or the tread that goes around it, the width of that track, that's basically the width of the interior. Everything else to the side that makes the whole circle, if you will, the sphere, that's, I guess, elbow room if you were climbing in there, and then there's a door on both sides. So the part where the decal is, I want to call it nose art, but you know what I'm talking about, the snowman, whatever the artwork is, that's the door to get inside of this thing. So all of these parts that we're building here, this is basically constructing the interior, the skeleton of the ball, if you will. This is where everything kind of started making sense to me. So you've got these roller wheels around the edges. So the engine's going to turn those wheels, and the track is going to rotate around the entire ball, around those wheels. Then you've got a seat, so you've got a little, driver's seat. So everything kind of started coming together, and it's still really, really weird. And I would not want to be the guy in there driving, but it again started making sense here, and then it's just a matter of getting this thing finished up, so we can call the interior finished. And that gets us through page 5 out of 10 pages in this instruction book. So far, so good. In the next episode, we're going to do a little bit of painting. Here's a little sneak peek for you, how it turns out after painting it white. Nice little size comparison there. So it's not a huge kit, but it's a very, very cool kit, very unique, and I'm excited to see it finished, and I hope you are too. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on episode 2. Take it easy, guys.